Now we'll start further discussion. Okay, so some smaller initiatives I'll tell you which are very important. You just need to keep them in mind. Okay, if one sentence answer for PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. Okay, strength to the infrastructure sector, number one, and speedy movement of people and goods from one place to another place. This is the shortest answer, because in any form UPSC can frame the question. Okay, you should have at least idea how to respond. Clear that? Okay. Then also, what are other initiatives which are there for infrastructure sector? You might have heard about this initiative, One Nation, One Product. One Station, One Product. One Station, One Product. What is this One Station, One Product? What is this One Station, One Product? Yes? See, sometimes there are, every region in India is blessed with a particular geography. Clear that? And that region is basically famous for a particular thing. Like Tirupati, famous for this, Tirupati Laddu. It has got this geographical indication tag also. Okay. Rice, basmati rice. Okay. Rasgulla of West Bengal. Clear that? Then these things should reach to the remotest corners of the country. Clear that? Then particular stations in either in the roadways or in the railways will be designated, and from that station farmers will bring their product to that station and supply it to all parts of the country. This is in line with there was a program called One District, One Product to promote the local industry, local production of particular commodity which is famous in a particular district. So this will be within a particular area. If that area is famous for a particular commodity, that it is to promote the export of that commodity to different parts of the country. You get this? One station, one product. One station, one product. So it is, main objective is to increase the efficiency of supply chain. Okay. Efficient supply chain. Management of efficient supply chain. Management of efficient supply chain. Management of efficient supply chain, particularly for local products. Okay. Two major beneficiaries will be the local farmers plus micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay. Two major beneficiaries, local farmers and micro, small and medium enterprises. Micro, small and medium enterprises. Two main beneficiaries. Two main beneficiaries. Okay. There is one more electronic portal that is called Kavach. You heard this Kavach? What is it about? Yeah, it is basically, you just write Kavach. Basically, there will be around 2,000 kilometers of rail network, around 2,000 kilometers of rail network to be brought under Kavach. Brought under Kavach. What is this Kavach? It is an indigenously developed technology which will prevent basically the rail infrastructure, because these rail routes basically corrode easily due to various chemical action, rains and other things. Okay, loss of these railway bogies and other things, this will prevent. Okay, so you can write about Kavach. It is an indigenously developed technology for safety and capacity. Indigenously developed technology for safety and capacity in railways. For safety and capacity in railways. Okay, safety and capacity in railways. Okay. Also, 100 PM Gati Shakti terminals to be set up. 100 PM Gati Shakti terminal, cargo terminals. Cargo terminals means terminals from where goods will be transported to one place and another place. Another is basically 100 PM Gati Shakti. PM Gati Shakti cargo terminals will be set up. Cargo terminals will be set up. Okay. Then also 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains. These are high speed trains. They can run on the maximum peak speed of 130 plus kilometers, okay, per hour. Vande Bharat, faster transport. Vande Bharat. 400 new trains to be started in next 3 years. 400 new trains to be started in next 3 years. Okay. Then another mega development in infrastructure sector is Parivesh portal. Okay. Parivesh portal. Can you tell me what is it about? Parivesh portal. Another major initiative is Parivesh portal. What is this Parivesh portal? You can write proactive responsive facilitation. Proactive responsive facilitation by interactive and virtuous single window hub. Proactive and responsive facilitation by interactive and virtuous environmental single window hub. It is basically for what? It is a portal for single window clearance. Because I told you already, there is huge issue with infrastructure project. Single window clearance will be given to these projects through any project. You register it on Parivesh portal, okay. There you will get all the clearance related requirements. You have to fulfill those checklists and you will get clearance at this single window, that is the Parivesh portal, okay. It is under which ministry? It is developed by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It is developed by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Ministry of Environment, Climate Change. Okay, so you will submit your application form online. Okay, then there will be basically the evaluation of the checklist. Okay, you will be given some time for editing and updation of your details, and then finally there will be, you can track your clearance status online, whether it has been given clearance or there is some objection. You will clear that objection and you will get clearance at the earliest. This will help in improving the balance sheet of the corporates, because main reason for the deterioration of balance sheet of the corporates is basically the delay in clearances. You have taken a loan from the bank, you don't get clearance for your project. That loan you will default, because you will not earn anything. Where will you pay the EMI from? Clear that? So this will help in improving the balance sheet of the corporates, and that will further improve the twin balance sheet problem, and that will further improve the NPA reduction problem. Clear that? So they are all basically interlinked. Clear that? So these were some of the initiatives which were related to infrastructure development. Okay, then now we will start discussing another theme, that is banking and finance. Very important theme, particularly due to this CBDC, central bank digital currency. Okay, central bank digital currency, one of the biggest initiative which we have started recently. Okay, and what is this central bank digital currency? How will it give advantage? How will it boost our trade and investment? And what are its potential advantages and disadvantages? All will be discussed. Clear? So next theme 2 is the banking and finance. Banking and finance. Banking and finance. In banking and finance, the first topic is CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. Central Bank Digital Currency. Okay, what is the topic? It is Central Bank Digital Currency. Now what is this central bank digital currency? Before understanding it, you need to understand why do we at all introduced it?
Countering the influence of cryptocurrencies.
Excellent. Basically, the influence of cryptocurrencies is increasing at the global level. Okay. India has not banned cryptocurrencies. First of all, you understand that. India has not made cryptocurrencies illegal. There's a lot of people are investing in cryptocurrencies, and it is basically the scope of cryptocurrencies is basically increasing continuously. Clear that? India has also decided in this year's budget to basically tax the virtual assets. Tax the virtual assets. Virtual assets means assets which don't exist in physical form. They exist in cryptographic form. Clear that? Work on blockchain technology. Clear that? Okay. So basically, virtual assets ko tax karna means you are giving it some legal shape, yes or no? Still, they are not legal tender. Legal tender means those which are acceptable as mode of payment. They are not made legal tender. But yes, we have given a legal recognition to them, because in the Finance Act itself, we have said that we will tax at the rate of 30% all the virtual assets. Clear that? Okay, that is the point which I'll come to later. But this central bank digital currency is to counter the influence of increasing influence of the cryptocurrencies. Clear that? Okay. Now, can you tell me any committee which was set up related to this to evaluate whether we should go towards cryptocurrency, whether we should develop cryptocurrency or not? Any committee? There was one committee called as SC Garg Committee. SC Garg Committee. Sometimes you get question only on the committees. Committee match, which of the following is correctly matched? On one side committee is given, on another side the committee for which it was made is given. Clear? So SC Garg Committee was to check the scope of cryptocurrencies, to look into the matter related to cryptocurrencies. So this committee have given two recommendations. One recommendation is to ban cryptocurrencies. Ban cryptocurrencies. Did we accept this recommendation? No. Rather, we went a step ahead and we started taxing the cryptocurrencies, virtual assets. Clear that? Okay, by virtual assets we mean cryptocurrencies. Those which are not in physical form. They are in the form of digital form, and digital form means cryptographic form. They are encrypted, information is encrypted, okay, and they become cryptocurrencies. Clear that? Okay. Second was, it was stated that central bank must issue Cbdc, central bank digital currency. So we have accepted this recommendation. Clear that? Sometimes if you get a question which committee recommended the introduction of Cbdc, it is the Subhash Chandra Garg Committee. It was Subhash Chandra Garg Committee. Clear? Now, which Act of Reserve Bank of India deals with issue of currency? RBI Act 1934. Which section? Section 22 of RBI Act 1934 deals with issue of currency. Now you have introduced a new currency that is called central bank digital currency. And in this issue of currency, you have not defined Cbdc. It has defined issue of currency, notes and coins. Now you have to introduce one more thing that is called central bank digital currency. So this will be amended. So an amendment is proposed. Amendment proposed in this section. Amendment is proposed in this section, that there will be an amendment, and in this amendment what we will include, basically we will include in the definition of currency the central bank digital currency. Central bank digital currency. Okay. Now what is the amendment? Amendment is that currency means both currencies, physical currency and digital currency. Currency means physical currency as well as the digital currency. You get the point? Okay. Then also, what will be the features of this currency and who will issue the currency? Who will issue the currency? See, there are some technicalities involved. I'll tell you all of them. Who will issue central bank digital currency? See, currency is issued by RBI. Okay. Then RBI gives it to the banks. Okay, banks also take currency from the people and take it as deposit. Means who is the main mediator between the finance and the individuals? It is the bank. But in this case, in central bank digital currency, RBI will have a dual role. RBI's role in central bank digital currency. RBI's role in central bank digital currency. Okay, RBI will have a dual role. RBI will have a dual role here. Either RBI will play a direct role or RBI will play a indirect role. You see, in all the physical currencies, rupee, coins and the notes, RBI has an indirect role. RBI prints, gives to government, government pays salaries to the employees, people and other agencies, they deposit money in the banks. So banks have direct dealing with the people. Money depositor ke saath who has the direct link? It is the bank. But in this case, in the direct mode, RBI will have direct relation with the depositor. Clear that? In direct mode, RBI will be the account holder as well as the facilitator. In this bank, RBI will be the account holder. Means individual can open the account with RBI directly. RBI will be the account holder as well as facilitator. What is the role of facilitator? To facilitate the transactions. Okay, withdrawal and deposit facilities. RBI will be the... Okay, now in this case, RBI will act as an apex monetary institution or RBI will act as a bank itself? So in this case, RBI will act as a bank itself. RBI will act as bank itself. Okay, but will it increase the responsibilities of RBI? RBI already overburdened with monetary operations, monetary policy decisions, lot of things. Okay, but this will increase the work burden of RBI. This will increase the work burden of RBI. So do you feel that direct mode is better for RBI? Direct mode is not better for RBI. Clear? That's why a two-tiered indirect model is recommended, where RBI will play indirect role. What indirect role? Account will be still held by RBI, but facilitator will be another agency. Okay, RBI will be account holder, but not the facilitator. There will be some other agency which will act as facilitator. Okay, means other customer interactions, deposits, withdrawals, transactions, other interactions will be done by this facilitation activity will be done by other bank. Other bank will be facilitator. Now which other bank? Those which will be authorized to deal in central bank digital currency. Okay, as of now we don't have a broader policy framework on that. This is just an announcement. Okay, it is in very crude form. Clear that? Central bank digital currency. Clear that? Now, will this digital currency be legal tender? If we are incorporating it into the RBI Act, it will be legally binding on the individual to accept it as a mode of payment. So its features of CBDC, number one, it will be legal tender. Second best feature, sometime there are a lot of cash transactions which you cannot trace very easily. Clear that? Person to person transactions, you cannot trace. That runs a parallel economy, unaccounted economy. Lot of tax revenue is lost because of that parallel economy where unaccounted money is traveling in the economy. Clear that? But once the currency will go into the digital form, there is no physical form. You have to transact the business through online modes. Okay, so there is a high chance of traceability. So traceability is another very, very important feature of central bank digital currency. Okay, then the third is that it can be used for wholesale transactions or retail transactions. That is called programmability. Programmability means it can be used for both wholesale or retail transactions. It can be used for both wholesale and retail transactions. So programmability, it is legal tender, traceability will enhance. Clear that? You get this point? Now then, suppose I have 1 crore of the physical currency and 1 crore of central bank digital currency. Okay, how is it different from physical currency? Very important and very technical point. Just apply your brains, you can tell me. What is the difference? Yes. In terms of liquidity. But then if it has programmability, wholesale transaction, it is also liquid. Acceptable as normal currency. Problem of double payments.
The cash can be black money, sir. It's going to be white money.
But cash deposited in bank cannot be black money. I am talking about bank deposits. 1 crore in physical form with bank, 1 crore in central bank digital currency form. Okay. Very easy answer. I can give you a hint. Answer lies in the role of RBI.
Inflation.
No, there is no printing cost at all. It is a digital form. I am talking about difference. Okay. Who is the account holder in case of physical currency? Bank. Who is the account holder in case of central bank digital currency? So, whose liability is CBDC? RBI's or banks? And physical currency deposits are liability of whom? Banks. Deposits are altogether liability. They are to be paid back to the people. Clear? The difference is, in case of CBDC, it is the liability of RBI. In case of physical currency, it is the liability of banks. In case of CBDC, bank is only the facilitator. It will facilitate transactions. It will not be account holder, so it will not have any liability for the consumer, for the depositor. You get the point? So the difference is that in case of CBDT, it is a liability on RBI. It is a liability on RBI, not on banks. Okay? It is RBI's direct liability. Whereas other bank deposits are liabilities of banks. Other bank deposits are liabilities of banks. So this is how they are different. Clear? So have we created a global example by inventing such thing? Lot of countries. Okay, like there is e-dinar in Tunisia. Okay, then there is also Sistema in Ecuador, Petro in Venezuela. Okay, and e-krona in Sweden. Okay, एक दो examples याद रख सकते हो. E-krona, very easy to remember. Sweden. Okay, e-dinar in Tunisia, very easy. Then Petro in Venezuela, very easy to remember. These are some global examples where already there are the digital form of currency. Our country names it as CBDC, the other countries name it this way, but they are called as digital currencies. Okay, not cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency is different from digital currencies. It is basically a CSAT Venn diagram. All cryptocurrencies are digital currencies? No. All digital currencies are cryptocurrencies? Yes. All digital currencies are legal tender? Yes. All cryptocurrencies are legal tender? No. You can understand the point, huh? Now, what is the benefits of CBDC is a potential mains question. Benefits of CBDC. What are the benefits of CBDC? Potential mains question. Yes? Even prelims question, which of the following is not a benefit? Okay. Or which of the following is a benefit? Okay. And they will basically get you trapped in concepts. You had some concept like cash GDP ratio. You had a concept cash GDP ratio. First of all, what is the definition of GDP? It is the final money value of goods and services produced in an economy. In an economy or in a domestic territory. Domestic territory includes the political boundary plus consulates, fishing vessels, oil rigs, aircrafts which are owned by Indians. Clear that? But the embassies of foreigners within India which are operating. Okay, so there are basically these technicalities in the definition of GDP. Okay, but overall it is final money value of goods and services produced within domestic territory of a country. Clear that? Not political boundary, it is domestic territory. Clear? Okay, and out of that final money value of goods and services, some part you will have in terms of cash. Because you have to take the money value of wheat this much, money value of rice this much, money value of MSME product this much, money value of agri product this much, cash this much. Then you calculate GDP. You calculate GDP. But the cash, is it actual productivity? No. It is. If it is idle, more cash means you have kept so much cash idle, no investment, no saving, means this is harmful for the economy. Clear? So high cash to GDP ratio is beneficial or not beneficial? Not beneficial. So it should be lesser or higher? Lesser. So will CBDC reduce the cash GDP ratio? Yes or no?
Yes.
When there will be digital currency, there will be no cash. Clear that? So it will reduce the cash GDP ratio. First of all, first benefit, it will reduce cash to GDP ratio. It will reduce cash to GDP ratio. It will reduce cash to GDP ratio. Clear that? Okay. So many people don't have idea of savings. Lot of people save in form of cash, then they fear that it may be stolen, it may be, then they keep on spending rather than saving in banks. Clear? Now if they know that we can convert it into digital form and we can save it directly with the RBI, lack of trust suppose in the banking system, let us deposit the money with the central bank. No fear of losing any value. Clear that? So lot of people may go for opening the accounts in the RBI for CBDC. So it will give a boost to the financial inclusion. It will not enhance financial inclusion. Already financial inclusion is there, but it will boost it. Okay. So it will give a boost to financial inclusion. Boost financial inclusion. It will boost financial inclusion. Okay.
Will RBI provide any savings rate?
Yeah.
Will RBI provide any savings rate for
Any
savings rate?
interest rate? I'll come to that. Just write down the benefits, then I'll tell you. Okay. Then promote financial inclusion. Okay. Then it will counter the influence of cryptocurrencies. Okay. It will counter cryptocurrencies. Just give me one second. Huh? Okay, so it will counter the private cryptocurrencies. Clear that? So next is, it will improve cross-border payments. Okay, means imbalance of payment situation. It will improve cross-border payments. It will improve cross-border payments. It will improve cross-border payments. How cross-border payments will improve? See, whenever you have to make payments in cash, okay, there are a lot of irregularities involved. Okay, there are a lot of back channels. Clear that? But you can trace all the cross-border payments through central bank digital currencies because they are in the digital form. Whenever you transact a business, it will be reported by the Reserve Bank of India. Clear that? It will come into the notice of Reserve Bank of India. So it will prevent lot of illegal channels of payment, cross-border payments. Clear that? So it will improve cross-border payments. Okay. Then it will also promote financial technology sector, that is fintech sector. It will promote fintech sector, financial technology sector, fintech. it will promote fintech sector. It will promote the fintech sector. Okay. Then it will capture economic activity on real-time basis. 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 Okay. Now see, we are estimating GDP, but lot of unaccounted money is still flowing in the economy. Clear that? Now if it is, just a second. Huh? So what I was telling you is that now a lot of parallel economy, which is unaccounted economy, unaccounted money is floating in the economy, which is not a part of GDP estimation. When we will shift to central bank digital currency, every penny will be accounted. Clear that? And it will give us more accurate estimation of GDP. Okay, so this will bring accuracy in estimation of GDP. Okay, accuracy. Clear that? Now there are a lot of challenges also. What are the few challenges which come to your mind? Yes? Will?
Crypto. We have crypto examples like if you put 1 rupee today, it will become 10 or 20 by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why we want to curb them. Because cryptocurrencies are volatile to their fluctuations in prices due to their demand and supply. Okay, if its prices are increasing, whenever there will be some global financial crisis or global financial stress on financial institutions, there are equal chances of huge loss in the value of cryptos. Clear that? That's why it is a type of gambling, betting type of thing, cryptocurrencies. That's why we want to reduce them and we want to introduce. See, if you have a 1 rupee note, okay, and if you have a 1 rupee coin, what is the difference? You will get a chewing gum for this also, you will get a chewing gum for this also. If you have a 1 rupee Cbdc, same will be the value. No impact on its demand and supply, no impact on its value. It is not that today 1 rupee Cbdc, tomorrow 1 rupee Cbdc will be equal to 10 rupee Cbdc, no. Cbdc is just currency in digital form. You get the point?
What is the difference between UPI payments and the CBDC?
Ha, very good. UPI payments, have you deposited it with RBI? No. Your UPI payment is the liability on your bank where you have deposited the money. CBDC will be liability in the RBI because you will open the account in RBI for that matter. Clear that? So first and foremost challenge is it will increase RBI's burden. Point number 1. Okay. Point number 2. There are some transactions which you don't want to show. What you buy with your own money. You deposited it in your account, you withdraw cash, you buy whatever you want. Clear that? But in case of CBDC, you cannot withdraw. Rather, you have to directly transfer to the account of particular person what you purchase. So there are some privacy issues also involved. Moreover, your cryptographic information will be encrypted on it. Okay. So these cyber privacy issues are also basically, on the discussion that these may be some issues. 1, increase on burden of RBI. Number 2, these privacy and cyber security issues. Okay, then there is basically another issue. There is one term, disintermediation. You may get so many times this term in newspaper. Disintermediation. What is the meaning of this term, disintermediation? This is one of the disadvantages. This is one of the disadvantages of CBDC. What do you mean by this term, disintermediation? What do you mean by disintermediation? Who is intermediator between the RBI and the depositor? Banks. Now depositor has got direct link with RBI while opening the CBDC account. This is a type of disincentive for the banks. This will reduce the role of banks as an intermediator or intermediary. This is called a disintermediation. Okay. Now all the money deposited with whom? RBI. If it would have been deposited with banks, banks would have lent it to some other firms or other company. That is called a credit creation by bank. You deposit 10 lakh with banks. What will bank do with this cash? Bank officials don't sleep on cash. They take this cash and lend it to other entities so that they can earn some interest and revenues from them. You get the point? Okay. But this time under CBDC you are deposited directly with whom? With RBI. And if you are operating under direct model, this will be complete disintermediation of the banks. Means this will reduce the credit creation capacity of banks, yes or no? Credit creation means lending capacity. Definitely. So disintermediation means reduction in credit creation capacity of banks. Reduction in credit creation capacity of banks. Reduction in credit creation capacity of banks. Clear? Okay. Burden of RBI increases in both the cases. Why? Because in this direct model it has to open the account and do all the intermediary activities also. In this case it has to open the account, give the checkbook, issue the debit card, services all. Bank will do all the basically the counseling thing or basically other intermediary jobs. Clear that? So in this case, in the indirect model, disintermediation will be there but lesser amount. Here, huge disintermediation. Reduction in the role of banks as intermediaries. Reduction in credit creation capacities. Okay. Then, yeah? Yeah, that is, I'm coming to that. Fifth point I'll tell you, this is basically, there is a mismatch between financial literacy and the level of CBDC, the requirement of the financial literacy for getting into this. Okay, so infrastructure and other bottlenecks in that lack of financial literacy. Clear that? Okay, second is basically, bank runs. Next issue is bank runs. B-A-N-K, bank, R-U-N-S, bank runs. Next issue is bank runs. What do you mean by bank run?
There is an issue that banks by default that all the customers
Large number of customers leaving a particular bank or a financial institution when they see signs of stress. Okay. Now they are getting more secure form of deposits with RBI. Lot of people may withdraw their money from the banks and convert it into CBDC with the RBI. Clear that? So bank run is another issue. Bank run is another issue. Okay. It will improve. It will basically reduce cash to GDP ratio, which is very good. But it will also reduce credit to GDP ratio. Less credit to GDP ratio is good or bad? What is credit to GDP ratio? The part of GDP which is given by banks to corporates as loans or credit, because banks are earning on that. If this credit to GDP ratio will deteriorate, financial health of the banking sector will deteriorate. Capital formation will deteriorate. Clear that? So it will reduce the, it will basically, another issue is reduction in credit to GDP ratio. Reduction in credit to GDP ratio. Reduction in credit to GDP ratio. So this is all you need to know about. You need to know about central bank digital currency. Clear? You can expect good question on mains. Even in prelims also on benefits or disadvantages. What do they ask? They don't ask how much money you spend on this or that. They ask conceptual questions. Clear? Like last time, money multiplier depends on what? It is purely a conceptual question. If people will save more, money multiplier will be higher, money supply will increase. Simple. It is a relation question when you can relate capital formation with money multiplier. Okay, in the same way, CBDC, which of the following is an advantage? They may give you this also, but rather it is a disadvantage. If they replace credit to cash, then it is a disadvantage. It is an advantage. Clear that? So you have to be conceptually a bit clearer on this. Okay. Now. Another important initiative which was in discussion, which was talked about by Finance Minister in her speech, was surety bonds. Okay, how many of you know what are surety bonds? What is a bond first of all? Good. Bond is a debt instrument. This was a question in UPSC 2014 prelims, that bond holder is a debtor, creditor. There are two more options, both or none of these. Okay. So basically, what is bond? Bond is simply a financial instrument. It is a paper on which, as per the format of RBI, it is written, I promise to pay the holder 1 lakh rupees at the 10% interest rate after 1 year. Three things are mentioned: amount, interest rate and maturity. This is simple a paper document. Clear? Suppose this is individual A. This individual A issues this bond to individual B. Individual B will give how much money to individual A? 90,000. Individual B will take this paper. This paper is now with this individual. Okay. Let me put it here the other way. Individual A will issue a bond of 1 lakh rupees at the rate of 10% for 1 year to individual B. How much money B will pay to A? 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh, less than 1 lakh. More than 1 lakh, right? It will pay only 90,000. Why? Because 10% will be the interest. 1 lakh per 10% means 10,000. B will take 10% interest. So he will keep the 10,000 as interest. Now what is the advantage with B? B has got a bond of 1 lakh rupees, but he has paid only 90,000. After 1 year maturity, he will return this bond to A. A will pay how much to B? 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh, less than 1 lakh? 1 lakh. So what is the advantage? He paid 1 year ago 90,000. After 1 year, he received back 1 lakh. This is the interest, 10% interest which he received after 1 year. This is how bonds work. So bond issuer is someone who gets the money, loan. And bond purchaser is someone who borrows. So bond holder is a borrower. Sorry, bond holder is a debtor. And bond issuer is a creditor. Bond issuer, A has issued the bond. He has incurred debt. He is a debtor. B has purchased the bond. B has purchased the bond, so B is holder of the bond. And holder is the creditor. Debtor is also called borrower. Clear? So bonds are financial instruments which are used by individuals or companies or financial institutions to borrow money from some other entity. That can be individual, that can be bank, that can be any financial institution. Clear that? So there was a discussion on Surety bonds. Surety bonds. There was a discussion on what? Surety bond. What is the surety bond? Tell me. See, individual A goes to State Bank of India and asks for loan. Asks for what? Loan of 1 lakh rupees. Loan of how much? 1 lakh rupees. State Bank of India will tell this individual A, you are taking 1 lakh rupees loan for 5 years at this much interest rate. Okay, but you are none of our relatives. Okay, we hardly know you, who actually you are. So on what basis we'll give you loan? What is the guarantee that you will return the loan? Means what is the collateral? What is the thing which you will pledge to us against this loan? That is called collateral security. That is called collateral security. Suppose I said that I have a plot and I am taking loan against this plot. Patch of land, clear that? So this plot will act as a collateral security, or in other words it is called guarantee. You see that one movie, a lady going to bank and saying हमें loan चाहिए, वो कह रहा है कि the other individual says, bank official says, we can't give you loan unless you give some guarantee. He says, you are basically a very notorious character. Is there any space for truth, loyalty? We are very honest people. He said, okay, give me your honesty, I'll keep it as collateral. Where is the honesty? Okay, so banks don't give you loan very easily unless banks know that you don't need the loan. If Mukesh Ambani goes to a bank and asks for loan, bank employees, bank officials, even manager of the bank will say, why do you come here? You should have called, we would have come to your place with loan. Okay, so there is one statement about loan that you have to prove that you don't need it. Then you get it very easily. If you need it, it is very difficult to get the loan. Farmers need loans, poor people need loan. They don't have anything to pledge as security except truth, loyalty, honesty. They cannot pledge the truth, loyalty, honesty. Clear that? For that matter, this collateral security is required. Now, pledging collateral security is very difficult for the poorer sections. In order to replace this guarantee system, collateral system, government has initiated the process of starting the surety bonds. Okay, I'll tell you how these surety bonds will work. Means you need not, first of all, it is to replace the guarantee system of getting credit. You can write to replace bank guarantee system. To replace bank guarantee system. Bank guarantee system. Bank guarantee system. Okay, now what are these surety bonds? I'll make an illustration for this matter. Illustration. Okay, see, for example, suppose this is government. This is government. Clear that? This is a company which has basically desired to make some infrastructure project of government. Okay, infrastructure, any company, you can write it is basically a infrastructure company. It is basically a infrastructure company. It is an infrastructure company. Okay, say suppose Tata, or suppose it is JP, any company, Unitech, Gamon, whatever name of the company. Okay, this is a company. Clear that? This company wants to make infrastructure project. Okay, government has given guidelines. You have to make this project. This much cost you have to incur. This should be the standard of the building, of the construction material. All the guidelines are given to this infrastructure company. Clear that? Now this infrastructure company requires a lot of funds. It doesn't have the funds to show the government that I have this much funds. Okay, it will go to a surety company. Surety bonds are given mostly by the insurance companies. Okay, it will go to a surety company, say life insurance company. Okay, Bajaj Allianz. Okay, or IFCO Tokyo. or it can go to, for that matter, this, ICICI Prudential. Any company, this company will take a surety bond. This company will take a surety bond. This company will give surety bond to this company, suppose of how much? 1 crore. 1 crore. 1 crore. This company will give surety bond from this security company or surety company. Mostly, basically IRDA has allowed only insurance companies so far. Okay, you can write also Insurance Regulatory Development Authority has allowed insurance companies to issue surety bonds. To issue what? Surety bonds. This will issue a surety bond. Surety bond will be issued by this company to the infrastructure company. Infrastructure company will show the government that I have a surety bond of this company. Against this, I guarantee you that I will fulfill the project under this, under the prescribed guidelines. Under the prescribed guidelines. Clear? Now, this surety company, infrastructure company, will basically tell government that we have given a surety bond to this company. It means if this company will violate any of these guidelines, government will not ask this infrastructure company now, why have you violated the guidelines? You don't deserve any payment, because payments are to be released in installments so that the project gets completed. No investor ever invests full amount of money and then gets the payment from the government. Investments are done in phased manner. Government pays for the projects in a phased manner. Clear? If any of the guidelines is violated by the infrastructure company, government will recover money from the surety company. Government will recover money from the surety company. Now, why did surety company then issued this surety bond? Because if this infrastructure company completed a project in the proper guidelines, it will get interest from the infrastructure company. To earn the interest on the surety bond, this company issued a surety bond. But if the default is done by infrastructure company, then the surety bond issuing company will be in the loss. Clear that? But this year finance minister said that surety bond will be accepted for government procurements. Surety bond, you can write, surety bonds will be accepted for government procurement. Government procurement. Clear? Now, understand very, very carefully. Thoda sa it is very technical. Huh? See, when this company will issue surety bond to this company, it will issue a bond. Bond of how much? 1 crore. Clear? It will pay some money to this company. Na? Suppose how much? 90 lakhs. Clear that? This company requires money to procure some material for construction of the infrastructure project which it has taken. It doesn't have money, it has surety bond. Now there are two options. Either you sell this surety bond and get the money and purchase. But government said no need to sell this. We will promote it and we will accept it as a means of payment. Means now you can procure material for government projects in the form of by paying the surety bonds. It can be accepted as a mode of payment. Now by making it acceptable as a mode of payment, government discourages surety bond or promotes surety bond? It encourages, rather it promotes the surety bonds. Clear that? Otherwise, what you have to do? You have to go to bank, you have to get a loan, you have to give something in guarantee. That is a very cumbersome process, and what will you give a guarantee for 50 crores of loan? Okay, instead you have a surety bond 50 crores, you pay 50 crores and you procure the material. Clear? So in order to discourage this bank guarantee system, surety bond system is encouraged by the government. So two important questions. Number one, surety bonds are basically for which purpose? It is for the purpose of removing or reducing or eliminating the bank guarantee system. Number two, surety bonds are acceptable as a means of payment for procurement, yes or no? Yes, they are acceptable as means of payment. Earlier they were not acceptable. This year 2023 budget only, government said that surety bonds will be accepted as payments, a mode of payment for procurement. Mode of payment for procurement. Yeah.
They already have 90 lakhs, sir. Why do they go for only 10 lakhs for the surety bond? Insurance infrastructure company already has 90 lakhs. Only for 10 lakhs it is going for surety bond.
Yeah. See, ideally you will spend this whole 90 lakh, no additional money you are earning. Clear that? If you have 90 lakh, you lended it to somebody and you started earning interest on also, you have a dual advantage here. Number one, you have your own cash preserved, 90 lakh, plus you are earning consistently. And when you require money, you will require some money for procurement, you can use the surety bond itself. Here, cash has only one use. You will use it as a mode of payment. Surety bond has dual uses. It will be used as a mode of payment, plus it is yielding you interest continuously. So it will promote your earning also. Clear? And it is also boost for the infrastructure company also. It is also developing a secondary market. Secondary market means market which deals with in the financial instruments. Clear that? Shares, bonds, stocks. Stock exchange is also called as a secondary market. Clear that? Okay. So this is surety bonds. Okay, surety bonds. So now what are the benefits of these surety bonds? Why government basically wants to promote these surety bonds? There is a check and balance in this. You see, it is a very beautiful concept. This surety company will consistently press this infrastructure company. Don't violate the timeline. Don't violate the quality. Don't violate any of the standards. Clear that? And complete the project within the time frame. Don't do cost overrun. If you did, I will be the loser. I will be the loser because I have to pay for all the losses which you will incur. Clear? So what are its benefits? Number one, it ensures timely completion of projects. Number one, timely completion of projects. Number two, it will give boost to infrastructure sector. Number three, it will encourage efficient infrastructure firms. It will encourage efficient infrastructure firm. Efficient infrastructure firm. Okay. You get the point? Okay. Next major thing in the banking sector is DBU, Digital Banking Units. I hope you have come across this. Do you know anything about digital banking units, DBUs? Next major initiative. Okay. Surety bond discussion over now. Next topic is DBU, Digital Banking Units. Next is digital banking units. Next is DBU, which is digital banking unit. Digital banking units. What are digital banking units? DBUs. First of all, what is the announcement in the budget? That 75 digital banking units will be opened by the scheduled commercial banks. Okay? 75 DBUs will be opened by scheduled commercial banks. 75 DBUs to be opened by scheduled commercial banks. Clear that? This is the announcement in the budget. Okay. Now what is the digital banking unit? Yes? What do you mean by digital banking unit? Digital banking unit. Give me a second, huh? Okay. So what I was discussing, a digital banking unit, DBU. So 75 digital banking units are to be set up by scheduled commercial bank. What is digital banking unit? Just if you don't know at all, one tip for your prelims examination, if you don't know anything, try to break down the thing. You may get a clue. From here you can draw one thing that it might be technology enabled. Okay? It might be a technology enabled banking unit which will give banking services to people in unbanked areas. But will it be physically present? It will have minimal physical presence. Technology enabled, minimal physical presence. Minimal physical presence. Minimal physical presence. This is called digital banking unit, DBU. It is technology enabled. It is technology enabled. Okay? Technology enabled. Okay, and it will give banking related services. It will give banking related services. Banking related services. Basically it depends. If technology has reached to the rural areas, unbanked areas, they can be rural, they can be urban areas also. Clear? But particularly that areas where banking sector has not enough penetration. Okay, why do we need DBUs? Why do we need why do we need DBUs? Basically because of the underdeveloped nature of banking sector. Because of underdeveloped banking sector. Underdeveloped banking sector, number one. Okay. Number two, to bring in higher efficiency in the banking sector. Okay. To bring in higher efficiency. Higher efficiency in the banking sector. Okay. To leverage technology, to take the advantage of technology. Okay, and then to improve financial inclusion. To improve financial inclusion. Okay.
Sir, what is this line, sir? Is it like banking correspondent or something like that?
No, banking correspondent or business correspondent or bank sathi, they are the manual version of DBUs. DBU is an electronic version of banking correspondent type of thing. Okay, digital banking unit. See, small room with a machine installed. No need to take your card out of your pocket. Just place your fingerprint or some biometric information, iris scan like Aadhaar seeded accounts. Okay, then you can deposit money, you can withdraw money, you can apply for loans if you are very much literate. Okay, so leveraging the technology, smaller units. Minimal physical presence means you don't need big buildings, you don't need account section, deposit section, savings section. All the banking services at one place in the digital unit.
It's already as it, sir. Is there in-touch branch? Have you been there, sir?
But then we are trying to enhance them. 75 DBUs are to be opened now. Only one bank, three banks. Also HDFC has also started it. Even ICICI is planning to start it. But now 75 scheduled commercial banks, 75 DBUs will be opened by various scheduled commercial banks on pilot basis. Okay, so that they will have multiple. Even SBI has only the deposit and withdrawal facility. You cannot apply for loans. You cannot.
You have this in-touch branch, sir.
In-touch branch.
Yes, sir. Where you can go and directly apply for the loan also. Everything is
But that is a branch of bank, or is it a digital unit?
completely digital, sir.
Okay, then fine, we are going to improve it, we are going to enhance it, we are going to basically reduce the presence, reduce the minimal presence. Technology enabled infrastructure we are going to develop. Why? It is like? Yeah, it can be like that machine also. Okay, basically there is a concept of challenger bank. See, at global level, these DBUs are called challenger banks. These DBUs are called challenger bank. Like you may have heard about. Have you heard about this thing, Starling? Have you heard about anything like Mones? These are challenger banks in United States of America. These are basically challenger banks. In Britain, challenger banks. They are also called neo banks. Small physical presence, but high utility. Okay, very less manual work. Everything automatic. Everything automated. Clear that? They are called neo banks or challenger banks. So you may get a question. These are basically well established, smaller technology enabled banks which compete like the bigger banks. Okay, like SBI, you have a big branch, deposit facility, loan facility, withdrawal facility, credit card, debit card, checkbook, everything you get from there. Okay, but DBU will be a smaller unit in a smaller physical space. It will be technology enabled, and you will get almost all the services which you get at the larger bank, you will get at the DBU also. Okay, now why we are trying to promote it? Number one, we will basically leverage the technology benefits. Number two, we will reduce the cost of production of services. Okay, because if you have to produce services, if you have hired a large building, you are paying huge amount of rent, you have large number of employees there, you are paying huge amount of salaries also, clear that. But in digital banking unit, you will have only one banking unit, one operator will be there who will guide the customers, almost every services. Okay, so this is what I expect, neo bank or challenger bank. This may be asked in prelims, and so this digital banking unit is a type of challenger bank or neo bank. Okay, so you can also write the definition of it. Write the definition. DBUs are smaller digital banks. DBUs are smaller digital banks. Smaller digital banks which compete with well-established larger physical banks. Well-established larger physical banks. They also fall under the category of neo banks or challenger banks. But neo banks or challenger banks is a global level concept. In Indian version, they will be called as DBUs, digital bank units. Okay, digital bank units. Digital bank units. Clear that? Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
if the count of account holders in the DBUs increases, there will be challenge regarding.
Yeah. What are you saying?
The count of the customers increases with the DBU account opening transaction, that will be addressing challenge problem to operate the transaction.
I am not getting your question actually.
The count of the customers
If account of customer
increases with the DBU.
increase with DBUs. Okay.
Generally, we have large banks. We can address the lot of people in one day.
Okay.
But in DBU, there is a minimum percent.
That's why we are going for opening more units. We will open more units of digital banks, DBUs. And see, if this is a digital bank unit, it is not a separate bank, first of all. Okay, this will be digital bank unit of State Bank of India. Okay, parent bank will be a scheduled commercial bank. You get the point? So they are already catering the needs of large number of customers. It is just providing services to the customers, one-stop solution for all the services. You get the point? Suppose if you have to go for a check withdrawal, you have to visit the bank branch. If you have to go a debit card withdrawal, you have to visit an ATM machine. If you have to go for a loan, you have to visit the parent bank branch. Clear that? If you have to go to the insurance, for insurance, you have to go to SBI Life Insurance branch of that particular bank. Clear that? But DBU will basically integrate majority of the services at one smaller unit, one smaller place. Customer convenience will increase, financial inclusion will increase, banking habits of people will increase, and also due to banking habits, money multiplier will be there. Lot of integrated advantages will be there. You get this point? Okay. So now, write down next one, father fund. Next concept in banking, father fund. Father fund. Okay, father fund. Huh? It is not the money received from fathers. Huh? You receive it till your fathers are there. Okay. Father fund. Clear that? It has started only this year. This year, father funds are already there. Okay, it is known by another name that is called as fund of funds. Fund of funds. Okay. Then it is a type of alternative investment fund. It is a type of what? It is a type of alternative investment fund. Father fund, it is a type of alternative investment fund. Clear that? Another type of fund is called as daughter fund. Okay. There is no son fund. Another fund is called daughter fund. I'll tell you the illustration. You'll understand the concept of daughter fund and father fund both. And daughter fund is also a type of collective investment fund. Collective investment fund. Okay. See, suppose there are investors. So A, B, C. Please draw this illustration. Huh? These are what? These are three investors. These are three investors. They collectively pooled their amount, pooled their money, 1 lakh each. They made what? 3 lakh. Now they will invest it in a startup. Okay. So basically, they pooled their investment. This will become alternative investment fund. Okay. Now the definition of alternative investment fund, it is the pool fund of investors which they will invest in some project. Alternative investment fund means you don't get loans from banks, you don't get loans from some other credit facilities, then you can go to the alternate investment funds. Because they are three investors, they together pool their funds and they give it as loan or they give it as investment fund to particular company, particular sector, particular area. This is called alternate investment. Okay. If this alternate investment fund is given to a startup, if invested in a startup, then it is called daughter fund. No, angel investors invest in innovative projects. You get this point? Angel investors invest in innovative projects. Daughter fund. Then it is called as daughter fund. Now if you get a question in prelims about daughter fund is a type of alternative investment fund which is basically pooled investment of few investors and that is invested in a startup. That is invested in a startup, new startup. Clear? Suppose this was one alternative investment fund. Clear? Then there are A, B, C, then there are other investors D, E, F. They also pooled their investment and they made another alternative investment fund. Let us name it AIF 2. Let us name it AIF 1. Let us name it AIF 2, AIF. Clear that? You get this illustration? Now suppose these, if they also invest in a startup, then it will become what? Daughter fund. But suppose they both decided not to become daughter fund. They decided to become father fund. alternate investment fund 1 and alternate investment fund 2 will join the amount. It will become a bigger pool of amount. Now they will invest it in a bigger project. This will be called as father fund or fund of funds. This is alternate investment 1, alternate investment fund 2. Then these funds together join, they become fund of funds or father fund. They become funds of funds or father funds. Okay. Now, what is this called? This is also called blended finance. You blend investors from one daughter fund, another daughter fund, together they make father fund, fund of funds, also called blended finance. Clear that? Okay, so now you can write what is the budget budget announcement. In budget 2023, father funds were announced. Father funds were announced for sunrise sectors. Now question may be, which of the following sectors are sunrise sectors? Okay. Sunrise sectors. Yeah, you can write down. Agri-technology. Okay. Digital economy. FPI, food processing industry. FPI. Okay. Then pharmaceuticals, climate action, deep technology, like deep technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, big data, etc. Science and tech. Clear that? Now what is this alternate investment fund? First of all, it is much like a financial institution, because this individual depositing 1 lakh. This is a financial institution having lending capacity of 3 lakh. But if it is a financial institution, why not it is regulated like banks? Why not registered under Banking Regulations Act? Okay, it is basically registered under Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI. Regulated alternative investment funds. Let me complete, then I'll take. Registered as a trust or company with alternative investment fund is registered as a trust or a company with Securities and Exchange Board of India. Alternative investment funds are registered as trust or company with Securities and Exchange Board of India. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Clear that? When two alternate investment funds together pool up their resources, that is called blended finance or father fund or fund of funds. Clear? Now after all the illustration, I have come to one conclusion, that it is the amalgamation of various alternate investment funds which make it fund of funds or father fund. Now ask the question.
Investors are private persons, and they will not take why the government take initiative regarding?
These investors are private investors. Yeah, they are private investors. Now you want to ask me a question, why government has taken initiatives regarding this alternate investment funds? Basically, these investors want to invest somewhere. It is the job of government to provide them venue for investment. So government has this time said that we are opening the best sector for you, that is the sunrise sector. We will open pharma sector for you, we will open IT, robotics, machine learning, deep technology, we will open this FPI, food processing industry. Various sectors are set open for. So this is a venue for them to invest.
Without government saying them also, they can lend also.
They can lend, definitely they can lend. They lend to various venture capital fund. Okay, VCF is one of their lendings. Mutual funds, hedge funds, chit funds. They invest in various funds, various schemes. But in these sunrise sectors, government also need to promote capital formation. Na? So government has opened another opportunity for them. Clear that? Students study, but government opens opportunities for them. You go to engineering, you go to medicine, you go to civil services, you go to Telangana public services, whatever you want to. Okay, so government has opened another opportunity for alternate investment funds. Now why this is important? Basically this will open another credit line to the sunrise sector. Okay. Yeah, thoda sa zor se, loudly.
Do these investors have backup of government in any failure case?
Do these investors have
Backup of government?
backup of government
Like in case of failed scenario.
in case of
Failed scenario.
failed scenario? Suppose they see, wait a while. Suppose you open a venture, okay? You have to plan it accordingly. You have to invest very wisely. Okay, at the max you can get the backup from the insurance company. You ask an insurance company, I am opening this venture, please get it insured. They will value your venture and they will insure it for a particular premium. If it fails, you have to decide which security measure you want to take. If they take it with the government insurance company, then government will definitely boost them. Clear that? Alternate investors are basically investing for higher returns. Clear that? They plan their investment accordingly. Investment has equal chances of success and failure. Clear that? That depends on how well you have planned your investment. Government doesn't guarantees you anything, but you have to make some security arrangement for your, like insuring your investment. I invested in a big project. Okay, I insured it. I have taken an accidental insurance. Suppose tomorrow any incident happens, drought, flood, anything else. I don't need to go for high courts and claim, file a petition against God for that matter, because I'll be having an insurance company. Clear that? So I have to insure my own business by myself. Government will give you avenues. You can invest here. It has given you open choice. If government forces you to invest, then government will also keep a security measure also. Clear that? So basically father fund or fund of funds is a type of alternative investment fund, which is amalgamation of two or more than two daughter funds. Clear that? Daughter fund is the primary alternative investment fund, which is invested in the startups. Clear that? Now father funds are allowed to invest in basically the sunrise sectors of the economy. This is the announcement in this year's budget. You get the point? Okay. So now write down another thing. You write another important aspect, sovereign green bonds. Sovereign green bonds. Sovereign green bonds. What do you mean by sovereign green bonds? What do you mean by sovereign green bonds? Why sovereign? Only one entity is sovereign in political theory, that is the government of a country. Clear that? Sovereign means supreme. Nobody can dictate terms. Sovereign means they are issued by government. Bonds means they will be what? Debt instruments or financial instruments. Okay. Green means, yeah. So they will be basically bonds which will be issued to raise finances in green energy projects. In green energy projects. Why green? Because they are for green energy projects. Raised for green energy projects. Raised for green energy projects. Okay. There are so many initiatives at global level. This is one step towards countering the climate change. Clear that? And we seriously need that. Okay, in the classroom you might be realizing we seriously need to control the climate change, or else we will not be able to sit in the class. Clear that? Everywhere we are facing the problem of this increasing global temperature. Clear that? And winters are getting harsher, though not in Hyderabad or southern part of India, but in northern part of India they are getting very harsh. Clear that? Why should I talk about India? For that matter, at the global level, climate change is a big problem. So Europe was the first country, first green bonds were issued in Europe. Okay, then World Bank also issued some green bonds. Clear? GCF, no, Green Climate Fund is not, GCF is an environmental control measure under, this Paris Agreement. We have decided to set up a fund with some corpus by the member countries in order to finance the green projects. Apart from that, if you want to raise investment for green energy projects, you can raise through issuing green bonds. Green bonds will be issued by the government. Okay, so these you can write. First of all, the guidelines for issuing of green bonds were issued in 2016. Who might have issued the guidelines? Since they are bonds, they are financial instruments, securities. So they will be dealt by Securities and Exchange Board of India. Bond, shares, debentures, treasury bills, certificates of deposits all are the securities, financial instruments. They are dealt by Securities and Exchange Board of India. You get the point? Okay. Can you tell me any organization which has issued green bonds so far? No, first of all, it was issued by Indian Railways Finance Corporation, IRFC. Indian Railways Finance Corporation issued green bonds for the first time for basically electrification of railways. Electrification of railways. Why? Through electrification, we will reduce the coal consumptions and carbon emissions. Thereby, it is a green energy project. Clear that? Then also, Adani Energy Group issued in 2019. Clear that? Now, why it is in news? It is in news that in this budget we have announced that government will issue more green bonds. Government will issue more green bonds, and it means government will raise more funds for financing green energy project as a part of its intended nationally determined contributions under the Paris Climate Agreement. Okay? Okay. Then will these bonds be a part of government borrowings? Yeah, they will be included in the government's borrowings. So green bonds to be a part of government borrowings. To be a part of government's borrowings. Government's borrowings. Part of government's borrowings. If it is a part of government's borrowings, means will it be, included in government's fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit shows only government borrowings, na? How much government needs to borrow? Okay, so it will be a part of fiscal deficit. This is where UPSC traps you. Okay, matlab, green bond will be related to fiscal deficit by one statement. You will not be able to figure out, because here is a situation where you are very calm, composed and comfortable. You are allowing your neurons to exercise. There already the efficiency of neurons is reduced by 80% because of the fear. Clear that? There only continuous revisions will help you. Continuous revisions will give you more and more conceptual clarity. Okay, and then your neurons at least 40-50% speed say they will work. Okay, that is sufficient for qualifying prelims. Clear that? Okay. This was basically about some other initiatives you can write also. Core banking solutions. What is core banking solutions? CBS. Next topic, core banking solutions in post office banks. You can write core banking solution in post office banks. Core banking solutions. Core banking solutions. What is core banking solutions? Good. Yeah. It is a technology which has interconnected all the banking players. Okay, State Bank of India connected to Punjab National Bank, connected to Sind Bank, connected to every other bank in the country. ICICI Bank. It is because of this technology you can withdraw money with your Kotak Mahindra debit card from the machine of ICICI. You get this point? You have a Kotak Mahindra debit card, you withdraw money from HDFC. How? Due to the technology of core banking solutions. It has led to interconnectedness of banks. Now this core banking solution technology was not introduced in the post office banks. Clear? Now post office banks will be also connected with the core banking solutions. Suppose you have deposited money in the post office bank in Telangana, you can withdraw the money in Delhi also. Otherwise, till this date you have to come back to Telangana and then withdraw money from the post office banks. Though you deposit very small amounts in the post office bank. I hope all of you are aware with what post office banks actually are, how they look like and how they work. Clear that? Okay, so core banking solutions has now been introduced in the post office banks. This year budget has announced. Okay, how many post office banks are there in our country? Approximately 1.5 lakh. Okay, all of them will be connected with the core banking solutions. Core banking solutions. Now, when they are connected to the core banking solutions, it means they will be more integrated with the financial system. ATMs, internet banking, mobile banking, everything will be operational in the post office banks also. Means you are enhancing the credibility as well as status of post office banks. Clear that? Okay, so this was banking and finance section of the budget. Clear that? Now after this, I will take you to another theme. Just let me decide which theme I should touch now. I feel like if I can go for agriculture, very important aspect. Agriculture, very important aspect. Let us go to the discussion of theme 3 of the budget, that is agriculture. Clear? Agriculture. What are the major problems in Indian agriculture sector? Yeah? Okay, what has happened to them? Yeah? Lack of availability of credit. Okay. Then? See, India has a huge potential in agriculture sector. But still we are net importers of, we are basically net importers in various agri commodities. Particularly if I talk about millets, edible oils, clear? Pulses. Why? Food grains, yes, we are basically, in food grains, yes, we are basically a net exporter. But overall we have problem. We became a exporter in food grains only because of Green Revolution. But then this Green Revolution has also some problems along with it. What are the problems of Green Revolution? It has increased production, but still, is it environmentally sustainable, Green Revolution? It has basically biggest problem of environmental sustainability. It is not environmentally sustainable. Okay, it has basically caused huge losses to the soil fertility, groundwater depletion. Clear that? Increasing monocropping, it has enhanced monocropping. Only few crops you are, rice, wheat, you are basically only producing these things. So this has basically productivity of other crops you have reduced. If you see, around 30% or 35% of the area in India is under the cultivation of rice and wheat. What about millets? Millets are the most important, component of our diets. They are called as nutri-cereals, highly nutritious. Clear? But how much do we consume? How much millets do we consume? Okay, majority of the millets basically we don't have idea of. Our culture does not promote. Even there is a problem with preparation of these millets. It is very easy to prepare a chapati of this flour, wheat flour or rice flour. Very difficult to prepare a chapati of this bajra. Clear that? So that's why there are also these, and then cultural issues. Millets are considered as basically poor man's diet. Clear that? These things are to be, there is also a national millet policy. I'll also be discussing that. Okay. So basically, environmental sustainability is the biggest problem. And also we have decided to double the farmer's income by 2030. Okay. We have postponed that due to the pandemic. Clear that? 3 years lost to the pandemic. Okay, but we didn't postpone it by 3 more years. We postponed it by 6-7 years. 2030. Okay, but then we will still not achieve it. Why? Because we have huge input cost in agriculture. Farmer earns rupees 1000. Okay, then he uses 980 rupees as input cost, agriculture cost, high yield variety seeds cost, fertilizer cost. Clear that? So high input cost. So there are two problems before Indian agriculture sector. Number one is high input cost in agriculture sector, and number two is the sustainability. There are two bigger issues. One is higher input cost, and number two is the environmental sustainability. Okay. Number third, another problem is that we are going more towards monoculture due to this green revolution. We need to diversify. So crop diversification is another objective, another big initiative, big thing before our finance minister or before our Ministry of Agriculture as well as the finance ministry, to give ample sanctions, ample allocations for promotion of these improvement in the income of the farmers. Number one, reduction in the cost of input cost in agriculture, then also promotion of the crop diversification. Clear that? So there are some initiatives which we need to understand. Which we need to understand regarding this crop diversification and other things. Okay, one is that in this budget we have decided to lay more stress on natural farming. Okay, natural farming. We have decided to lay stress on what? Natural farming. Okay, I am seriously expecting a question on natural farming in PT. Why? Because it is very close to organic farming. Most of the people will confuse it with organic farming. Is natural farming organic farming? Had it been organic farming, then I would not have taught it separately. Organic farming. What is natural farming and what is organic farming?
Sir, we leave the land to restore its own fertility. We leave the soil to restore its own fertility. It is natural farming.
Basically, we minimize human intervention in the soil maintenance. Okay, in natural farming, basically we leave things to the nature. Let nature manage the soil fertility, everything. If we will not do anything for enrichment of the nutrients, we will not do anything to damage also that crop. Clear that? So natural farming means minimizing human intervention. Minimizing human intervention. How do human intervene into farming? By tilling, cropping, fertilizing, fumigating, lot of things. Clear that? Nothing will be done in this case. And what about this case? Plowshare will be used, tilling will be done. Only instead of chemical fertilizers, we will use natural manures, biomass based. We will use these things. Clear that? In natural farming, do we use any Manures, no external manures, no use of external manure. Here external manure is used, but which form of external manure is used? Cow dung manure, vermicomposting, compost. Okay.
Sir, can we call permaculture as national?
Permaculture. Yeah, we can call, basically it is basically on-site decomposition of the material. So that is, you can write also that decomposition of organic matter, decomposition of organic matter by microbes and earthworms. Decomposition of organic matter by microbes and earthworm on the site, that is on the surface of the soil, is encouraged under natural farming. Means we don't bring it from external sites, cow dung from somewhere, vermicompost from somewhere, compost from somewhere. No. On site, on the natural available of land, if there will be some decomposition by organic matter, decomposition of organic matter by microbes, that is encouraged. Because human has nothing to do with it. It is the microbes who are doing the decomposition. That is encouraged in the natural farming. So, is it basically in favor of vermicomposting? Vermicomposting means basically making compost at some other compost plant. Then you transport it from there and bring it to the farm. That is organic farming, not natural farming. So it is against vermicomposting. Whereas organic farming is not against vermicomposting. Vermicomposting. Okay. Which one will be expensive method of farming? Natural farming or organic method? Expensive method will be this. Here you don't need to do anything, no? Okay, so it is basically cost effective farming method or low cost farming method. Low cost farming method. Okay, so from this we will try to reduce the cost. We will try to reduce the input cost. Okay, but then there are chances that productivity may initially come down. But once the soil will be habituated to self-replenishment, our dependence on fertilizers will reduce. That will be eco-friendly. Our dependence on fertilizers will reduce. Farmers will not have to purchase any fertilizers. Cost-friendly. Reduce the input cost. Okay, no vermicomposting, no anything, that will be very cost effective. Okay, but then this is a long-term process. But then in this budget we have announced that we will be promoting the natural farming instead of organic farming. Okay, doesn't mean that we will give up organic farming. Organic farming will continue, but we shifted from chemical farming to organic farming. Now we are deciding to shift from organic farming to natural farming. See, everything has this chain of events taking place. It is not like 1947, 14th of August, we slept. Early morning, 1947, we were independent. No. Modern India, some people say modern India starts in 1857. That doesn't mean that 1856, 31st December, we slept, we were medieval. Early morning, we were modern. There is a chain of events. There is a transition, clear? So same is the transition going on from chemical farming to organic. Now we will shift to natural farming. Okay, it will take time, but it is a positive step. Eco-friendly, definitely. Climate change, definitely. Lot of chemical, these greenhouse gas emissions, SO2, NOT can be prevented if we stop using the chemical fertilizers. Clear that? Okay, and also it will reduce the input cost. Yeah? Food security. We will not introduce it at that level that we will starve our country. Clear that? It is just mentioned that we will encourage it. We'll start it gradually. Clear that? Otherwise, we will start natural farming pan-India level. Next year, we will be the highest, bottom-most ranking country in the global hunger index. You get my point? So we have to maintain with a balance. Clear that? Huh? Next year, we may become Sri Lanka.
Sir, will we grow crops, sir? We will not sow seeds. How will we sow seeds without ploughing and everything?
Without?
Ploughing.
Yeah, there is basically a technique. Naturally, seeds are basically, we will not plow the field, we will put the seeds into the field directly. Okay, then we will allow the climate, will allow the natural factors to act on it. Okay, this rainfall will be there, then seed will penetrate into the land. There are so many crops which grow naturally without proper cropping, plowing, and other things. Okay, we will try to promote it on the larger scale. Clear that? We are far away from implementing it at a larger scale, but at least we make a beginning. At least we promote it. Yeah.
Organic farm will be certified by agency for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Is there any agency who is going to certify that your farm is a national farming?
As of now, there is no proper detailed policy. Like in organic farming, yes, we have certifying agencies. Like just write down one program that is called NPOP. 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 This is a program, National Program for Organic Products. National Program for Organic Products. Okay. Under this program, we provide certification of the products that they are organic products. But which products? Which are to be exported. Which are to be exported. And which agency gives that certification? It is ACADA. It is ACADA. It is ACADA. Name of the agency is ACADA. Agricultural Processed Food and Export Development Authority. Agricultural Processed Food and Export Development Authority. Point number 1. Point number 2. But this will give certification to only those products which are to be exported. Okay. Then those products which are to be used in domestic markets, they are basically given certification under PGS, Participatory Guarantee Scheme. PGS. 1, 2. Yeah? Yeah. Participatory Guarantee Scheme. This gives certification of organic products in domestic market. Certification of organic products in domestic markets. Clear? Now, which ministry? From here you can get a clue. Export. Export. Trade. It is under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay, there is no Ministry of Trade and Commerce. There is Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay, now it is Participatory Guarantee System in domestic market. Domestic market. Ministry of Agriculture. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Okay. Clear? So now in this budget we have just announced that we will promote natural farming. Where we will promote this? There will be a narrow 5-kilometer corridor along the Ganga river. Okay, so we will promote it basically 5-kilometer corridor along river Ganga. Along river Ganga. Okay. Grass will go, weeds will grow, lot of things will happen. Clear? See, basically, human intervention is that you can remove the grass. You can remove whatever is harming the crop. You cannot do anything basically which will benefit the crop, but you will remove all the impediments. Removal of weed, you are not preparing the land. You are preventing it from, that is a preventive measure. That is not a preparatory measure. Our approach is to prevent the land under natural conditions. Clear that? In organic farming, we prepare the land through treatment with fertilizers, treatment with manures, then tilling, then plowing, then also basically addition of some manures, addition of seed, proper irrigation also. Clear that? Here in natural farming, we will try to first of all prevent the farm from getting deteriorated. Maintenance of the fertility of the soil is basically under the natural. If you are not treating it with chemicals, you are just preventing harmful agents to harm that soil. Clear that? That doesn't mean that you are basically doing something you are treating it with some chemical or external treatment you are giving to it. No, you are just doing a preventive measure. Clear that? And then we are basically starting it on pilot basis and that 5-kilometer corridor along the Ganga river basin. Then we will see its success. Then we will see some measures. Okay, main focus is that we have not to add anything from our side. Manure, no. We will also discourage that. Okay, tilling, weighing, later stages we may realize that we can keep natural farming still very natural by even if we do some smaller measures like tilling or plowing or basically making the land at least making it increasing its fertility. Clear? Though we may not get additional treatment for vermicomposting, we will not do, biomass we will not add, but decomposition there on site we can do that. Clear that? So it is still very nascent stage. You get this point? So abhi ke liye it is just we are starting it on pilot basis in this much area. This is what we have announced in the budget, and I have also given you the differences. This is where I expect a question. Clear that? But when we will come up, there is no announcement in the budget how we will get certification of the natural products. Clear that? But then when we will come up with the policy, we will be having everything. Clear that? Okay. Okay. Now there is also one more budget announcement that is related to promotion of millets through value addition and branding. Promotion of millets through value addition and branding. Promotion of millets through value addition and branding. Why so much focus on millets? Because 2022 is going to be celebrated as the International Year of Millets. If International Year of Millets, then some focus must be there in millets. Millets very important for promotion for this food security in India. Very much important. You get this point? Millets very much important for food security in India. Clear that? In geography you might have heard about millets. Two types of millets: major millets, minor millets. Major millets, ragi, jowar, bajra. Okay, then there are these smaller millets like you can say pearl millet, this little millet also, foxtail millet is also, buckwheat. Clear that? So lot of millets are there which are divided into. In millets basically, they are also called nutri-cereals. Okay, why we want to promote? Because they have the potential. We will discuss it tomorrow. Okay? We'll stop here. We have already exhausted our time. Okay? I'll discuss this millets things tomorrow. Baki iske baad, I have some these tax related things which we have to discuss. Okay, so tomorrow 1.5 hours I'll take for this. Then I'll discuss some current issues which are in news. Majority questions on current based will come from budget, economic survey, and few topics which I'll tell you. And some conceptual things are there in the classroom only. If you have 13 to 15 questions every year for economy, then 5 current, 10 static conceptual. You see the trend. Okay, sometime it happens that 8 conceptual, 7 current, or 8 current, 7 conceptual, but that is a rarity. Okay, but this time you can expect more question current based. Okay, so we'll stop here for the day. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a class in morning at what time? 9, I think it will get late. Yeah, 9 to 1:15 we can start. 9 o'clock we'll start. Thank you.